My name is DC. I'll be giving you match analysis for Spartak Moscow versus Akron Tolyatt. I hope I pronounced that well. Anyway, let's get into this match analysis. Very good game. Already there's a problem. High line, space to run into, and everyone will run. No one will track their run. That's how they usually end up in. Otherwise, cross, it's coming, and you see, he's not being tracked. He's not being tracked. He's behind him, so he can't track him. He kicks it out. Fair enough. Hey. And then here, if you've noticed, number 24 is not being marked. And also, you have two players on the edge of the box. They can do anything. See, he holds it, takes the touch. As I said, he was not being marked. And you see, he could pass it to either one of these two that they left unmarked. Lay. That's a lovely goal, lovely finish. But always have someone here, because that's where the ball is most likely to fall into. And also, if you're a defender, you can clear the ball. If you're a striker, you get more goals like him. I'm not sure if he's a striker or not, but you know what I mean. Learn that one from the cat. Anyway, let's go. Next goal of the match. All right, so you may think everything is okay, but the one that makes this go is him. His run is what makes this go, and you see clearly, because everything he. Oh, sorry, that everything I'm actually happy with. You may say it's too far, the ball cannot disappear and reappear here, it has to travel. So as it's traveling, if he is where he is, he'll most likely be able to run and intercept or just go and pressure the ball. But now let me show you what happens here. He makes that run, and now it's one of those again whereby I understand his run draws him in. It makes sense. But for him, I don't know. And it's one of those where if they were a bit closer, but then again, okay, I'm contradicting myself. Let me get my thoughts. I've gathered my thoughts. The space to run into has been created by him because he wants to track him. But at this point, the problem again, there's no cover from the midfielders to help the defenders, because if he pushes out, the space will just open up and it will be a simple ball for him to go through. And oh my goodness, let me press this one. Yeah, it's one of those ones. So there's no help from the midfield, and then there's nothing much. He can't really come out, and I understand why he's stacking in. But as the pass is played, I think he can definitely set himself up better. If it means him dropping a few feet or a few yards deeper than his back line, I don't mind that, because I'd rather him be here somewhere along here by this 18-yard line, just slowly going towards there. Because what you're trying to do is trying to force it this side so that you can hopefully help your teammate by not forcing him to go towards, having to cover his run. And then just like that, he fakes the pass and creates even more space. That's a lovely move right there. Because you see, he could have played it here, fakes it, and then he runs away. I feel that's too easy of a fake to be moving behind like that. And by the time it reaches him, okay, this is a lovely strike. I mean, what? There's nothing else you can do. Fakes it, number 21. Nothing much you can do. Maybe the keeper could do better, but that's a lovely strike. Because again, if we see, there's this other angle here. I think this is one of the best angles to view it, because you see the way the ball rises up, like it dips. Boom. Anyway, that's the goal there. As we can see, at least they've learned their lessons. There are at least people there. But the problem comes into the box once again. Man on the line. I always like a man on the man on the post. Always like a man on the post. He's unmarked. He's unmarked. And you see, by the time the cross comes in, you see number 18. You see what he does? He shields. He creates space for his teammate to go there. Let's watch that again and see if you catch that. Number 18 holds him, and then that's I don't know if it's the trigger. I don't know if the word is trigger or whatever. Also, number 7 causing a bit of confusion for the goalkeeper here. Easy header for him. Goal. That's a lovely routine. Let's head on to the next goal of the match. The next goal of the match. I have a bad voice. All right. Let's just push it back a bit. I think I've gone a bit too. Oh wait, those. What have I done? There was a penalty. Oh no, it's my. No. I've gone somewhere else. All right, he's running down the line, and then it's a 3v2. But the unfortunate part is they're running towards their own goal, so it's very difficult for them. It actually isn't difficult. They actually just have to be side on. Let their shoulders be facing the opponent's shoulders so they can see the ball on the man. Because what they're doing here, they'll just. And it's funny because the whole back line is doing this. I understand they may want to keep on side, but at this point, number 19, like, it's weird because it's both players. If one was doing it, I'll just be like, one of those things. But for both, uh, could be a team problem. He gets past him way too easily. And you see the distance? These two were right next to each other. Number 9 and 19, they were right here. But the distance has increased, and then he's all alone. He's unmarked. Number 24 can definitely afford to engage a bit earlier. And if there's one thing that frustrates me about football is this. Number 2, immediately he could start running here. And the worst part, he doesn't even look behind him to check if there's a player making a run into. And it's just because he's unaware. He doesn't even check if there's a player making a run into here. He immediately closes this space, not realizing the player is a. Sorry, the player is actually behind him. The player that can actually do damage is behind him. And then he lets him go. Then number 80, pay attention to number 80. Yeah. Why does he fall down? Let's play that back. Let's play that back again. He falls down. I don't know if you assume that it would already be a goal, but he falls down for no reason. And if he just stayed up, he would have probably been in line to clear this. It's a good finish, but it's a good, rebound finish. But this here, I mean, if he checked, he would have seen that if he checked, he would have had enough trust in his teammate that he's covering him, and then he would go and actually block the angle for the pass. But he doesn't. He opens it up. Number 80 falls down. I don't know if both of them fall down because it's the keeper that makes the save. And then by the time they get up, goal. That's a ruthless finish. Now I just want to see from maybe a different angle. I think maybe this one will tell us better. Maybe he does get a touch. So he's warranted to fall down, but number 80, no. Lovely. Others, I don't know, other players will take the ball where it's not supposed to go. I think this might give us a better angle. Number 19. Yeah, he probably gets something, but number 80, I don't see any reason for falling down. Otherwise, let's head on to the next goal of the match, which is actually a pen. If we see this here, let's just go back a bit. Yeah, definitely a penalty. Studs to, is it ankle or leg? I don't know. I don't know, but yeah, studs are showing. It's obviously a penalty. Let's head on to the penalty that is scored. Taken very, very nicely. Ref has to give it. Goalkeeper tries some antics. Puts it into the back of the net. And here, you'd be okay to be a bit fearful. Because it looked like they were doing a comeback. Because if we go here, cross, and it's one of those where he is the wrong side of him. Because the ball is coming towards here. So which means if this guy puts his shoulder out and, he's going to reach the ball first. The only chance he has is if he's a bit more rugged, tries to shove him to the ground, or maybe tries to do a Ramos where he locks into his hand and falls down, or just aggressive, just bumps into him so he doesn't get that ball. Because if he can play it well, he could do it as a shoulder to shoulder, and it can be one of those whereby 50-50 open. That's a lovely cross. That's a lovely goal. But let me show you from the other angle also. Here the mistake comes here. He rushes for this. Boom! His momentum takes him away. He sees him, quickly plays the ball, and gets first contact. That's a lovely headed goal. Now this one, the movement is really good. The next goal here, because the person that scores the goal is here, and you see the run that he makes. And funny enough, this team is actually set up well because they have cover. They have cover for the defense. But what actually happens? Let's try and go through that. He has the ball, and All right, I can understand why they don't engage. But at this point, oh my goodness, I've just forgotten. So, let's go. Let's go. I don't know. Is it the center back? Anyway, I would blame both. You see, he sees it. He actually sees the pass. That's the funny thing. He sees the run. And once again, it's the same thing where he would do better if he was sideways rather than facing forwards because I think there's somewhere where he does a check. So we'll analyze it from this part first. Number 8, you see, he checks. He knows there's someone behind him. He's going behind and then he starts running forward. And then he isn't as serious here because rather than go for his hand is too high. It's just supposed to be slightly under the player's shoulder or arm. So that way he can put his body and then they can actually uh, argue or make a fight for that. And it's the way this pass is played so well. Bam, goal. That's a lovely finish. And also here, he should start pressuring the ball. He should go because he is here. So if he goes there, he can go, then he can cover for him. And also there's one more player left, so which is okay. But the ball that's played again is very good. And then he also doesn't read this because he's the closest actually. He could have gotten that. He definitely could have. The defender, if he was much more sharper, he could have gotten that. He doesn't, and it's his acceleration. Doesn't take it first time, takes it across. That's a lovely goal. They know. What a goal. Amazing goal. Amazing. Otherwise, classic match, lots of goals. Incredible game. Otherwise, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next match analysis. Peace.